Hey YouTube, what's up? This is Joel McNeil, and we're going to be having another Magic video, and today's video is going to be talking about attitudes in the game. Now by Magic attitudes, I don't necessarily mean the type of mindset you need to levitate off the ground. I mean the mindset you really have to have when playing the world's most complicated card game. We've all played Magic, or if you're watching this video, and if you haven't, you should. And Magic comes with obviously a winner and a loser. Draws happen, but they're pretty rare. And honestly, knowing how to lose and how to take a loss in a game that you do get very invested to emotionally, financially, it's something that happens, and it's something that some people have a lot of trouble with. Now, whether it's a question of like gauging how much you want to delve into the game and how much of yourself you want to invest into it, whether that be your time, your money, your cards, or just your attention, having all that go to waste feels like an absolute waste of time. It feels like you didn't get to prove how strong your strategy was, the strategy that you spent time crafting, that you put money into, that you've concocted. You're not able to execute it properly, and it's frustrating. Very fair, happens to everyone. And honestly, when you lose, you just have to take a loss. It sounds silly, but without losers, can't be winners. Without winners, there's not much fun. Now, the fun doesn't come from beating people. The fun comes from beating yourself or your own record or whatever you're trying to accomplish. Give yourself small winning goals. If you aren't a great player without a super great deck and you're showing up to an FNM, don't worry about going 2-2. Call going 2-2 an accomplishment. It's not a bad thing. You're not going to come in and beat Johnny Magic in your first day. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that for anyone. Doesn't matter if you're a year in or 10 years in, they're just cards. You shuffle them up, and that's what happens. Now, winning, on the other hand, there's good winners and there's bad winners, just like for losers. But unfortunately for winning, sometimes it can really leave a distasteful, sour bitterness on the back end of your tongue. It's when somebody really rubs it in the wrong way, you know, some salt in the wound there. It sucks. You're trying to be polite. The best thing you can do is put your hand out and say good game if it was a good game. If the guy mulled down to 3, played a land, you killed his first threat, and you ran him over, it wasn't a good game. That's okay. They happen. All you can do is shuffle up, get ready for game 2, look at your sideboard. Like, there's no point in worrying about the mistakes of the past if that's the only thing you're going to worry about. If you aren't going to look at those mistakes and see how you can grow from them, but instead you're just going to let them bug you and drag you down emotionally, you're not doing yourself any good, and you're wasting energy into something that isn't going to be helping you or your gameplay. Now, that being said, simple mistake losses happen. When you left the card you need to win the game on top of your deck, then you look down at your lands and said, oh no, I need 5 mana, and you crack a fetch land. The feeling of shuffling away your absolute bomb is terrible. Simple play mistakes. I'm not saying drawing an extra card, I'm just saying you miscalculated, you thought you had it, you forgot about the spell that you know you get taxing and probed and you know you saw it, but you just still forgot about it and you got caught by it. The games that you should have won, but you just didn't. Those losses are the hardest, and it's even worse when you have a bad winner. But honestly, in those types of situations, that's where we start to define ourselves as people. Where we are in those situations where you're in a bad place, and it's hard to work yourself out of it. Chances are you won't. So how do you face adversity? This is what defines people. When you're put under a stressful situation where you lose, you win, doesn't matter. But when you're under this type of stress, that's where you show who you really are, what your real traits are, if you can figure out a way out of it, if you can just accept it and keep a smile on your face, or if you're going to let it bug you and get underneath your skin. Not much else to be said. You win, you lose, you draw, you shake hands, you wish the guy a good time. And honestly, I consider a game to be well played and to have been a good time if I can get my opponent to laugh at least once during our match. Sounds silly, but over sideboarding, even if I'm getting run over 2-0, it happens. You lose. It's cool. You get the guy to laugh, you have a good time about it, you joke about what your top decks would have been. It's going to be a great night anyways. Either way. Joel, saying goodbye. Have a great day, Internet.